can't be in this light. Ready as I'll ever be. Hello and welcome to AWE Nite Northern XR. My name is Joe Orengo and I'm the CEO of Spatial 8. We're an ecosystem orchestrator of XR and related emerging technology companies from all over the world. And I'm also the co-organizer of AWE Nite Northern XR. Joining with me today is my other
Hello and welcome to AWE Nite Northern XR.
My name is Joe Orengo and I'm the CEO of Spatial 8. We're an ecosystem orchestrator of XR and related emerging technology companies from all over the world. And I'm also the co-organizer of AWE Nite Northern XR. Joining with me today is my other
Hello and welcome to AWE Nite Northern XR.
It's not an AWE Nite Northern XR.
My name is Joe Orengo and I'm the CEO of Spatial 8.
That was fun. Okay. Can I keep going? Okay, that means yes. So, yes, so I'm also the co-organizer of AWE Nite Northern XR, and I'm joined with my other co-organizer, Teemu Ollilainen, who is the Prime Minister of XR Nation, Managing Director of Spatial 8. And today, we have a very special meetup. We're live from the Expand Your Reality conference that is hosted here at Digi and Game Center in Jyväskylä, Central Finland, and is organized by YAMK, University of Applied Sciences. Okay, and if you can see the map here, even though AWE Nite Northern XR covers the Nordic and Baltic area, we are located right there in the middle of Finland. So the idea of AWE Nite Northern XR is to bring together the Nordic and Baltic XR communities and to showcase the extraordinary people, companies, and technology that are coming out of the region. So, and for those of you that are joining us live, you're of course on the AWE.live platform. And of course, for those that are joining us later on and watching the video, you can watch it on that platform. We have many other interesting and very fabulous meetups and other things as well. And hopefully we can show them next. No. Yes. So, and then of course, if you want to join live, there's a variety of Augmented World Expo events. There's All US in California in May, All Asia in August, AWE in Vienna in October, and All Live is always on. This is frozen, so. Yeah, so if you want to catch the recordings of the last AWE, which actually Temu and I were at, that was a lot of fun, you can go to the AWE.live and also anywhere where they show, like YouTube, for example, where you can find the recordings. And I'm guessing these are the new all-night meetups in Vancouver and Paris. They're just multiplying because people are so interested in XR, and all nights are very cool. Okay. And these are some of the things going on as part of the different programs that All has, like All Academy, and you have the HoloLens and Mixed Reality Masterclass, fundraising prep, and web AR workshops. Okay, so now on to the show. And our agenda for today was me first opening up the show and having some technical difficulties, but that's okay. Then we're gonna have Spatial News, which is produced by Spatial 8, and it's gonna be hosted by Teemu Olilainen. We have a showcase of the Digi and Game Center here in Jyväskylä, where we are right now, and where Spatial 8 also has an office, great place. Then we're gonna have a review of the XR scene here in Jyväskylä and Central Finland. And then we're gonna have a break so we can set up our panel, which we're gonna discuss XR for business. Is it hype, or can you actually make some money? Okay, and we also wanna thank our sponsors tonight, which are YAMP, that also created the Expand Your Reality conference tonight, and XPA, which is the one that runs the Digi and Game Center, and of course, Spatial 8, who paid for my ticket up here on the bus. Okay, so without any further ado, even though there was some ado, but it doesn't matter, Demo, please, come on up, click.
Yes, now it is time for Spatial News, which is super interesting so interesting that I'm not gonna do them here. I pre-recorded it, so let's watch the Spatial News reel. Please, sir, from the background, play it.
Sheesh! What was that? Wow. I think this is a bit weird, but okay. Nevertheless, I think I have to read the news anyway, even though I'm in the my eyebrows are moving. That's nice. I'm in the metaverse, so let's start off with the news. So welcome to AWE Nite Northern XR. This time we are live in Jyväskylä, Digi and Game Center. And here we are together with Young University of Applied Sciences. So please watch the recording from AWE Live if you are not watching this live. First off, Mercedes, the car maker Mercedes-Benz, is using NVIDIA's Omniverse platform to design and plan their manufacturing and assembly facilities for its upcoming fleets. They have a platform that allows Mercedes-Benz to create a feedback loop to reduce waste, decrease energy consumption, and continuously enhance their quality in the product. So I think that's quite important. You can see the video playing on the background. They are also setting up a sort of a digital-first planning process where the car model can be reconfigured in simulation. So the plant won't be disturbed, the current production won't be kind of disturbed by the reconfiguration. and then the blueprint will be rolled out to other parts of the global Mercedes-Benz production network. Then on with the, let's say, headset news, HTC Vive, new version coming up in February, so that's quite close by, a couple of weeks now. So they will be releasing their new VR headset, so it will be a high-end VR headset, not XR, but VR. But having said that, they have the ability to have pass-through cameras in color, and it has depth sensors for mixed reality. But the test here, the hands-on experiment by CNET, they tried variety of VR experiences, but didn't see much of the blending of the reality and real world. So let's see how that actually plays out. Then next, headset news, which is of course mandatory now. You always have to talk about Apple, as the reason, at least at this point, is that they would be maybe releasing their headset or the mixed reality headset before the developers conference in June. But let's see, they have been planning to launch it already in 2020, 21, 22. Now it's 23. Let's see if this actually makes it. Fourth time is the charm, is it so? Yeah, maybe. I think the saying is third time is the charm, but maybe fourth at this point. And regarding the Apple glasses, I have to advertise also Spatial News Pod, which is a podcast that we have done with the most relevant players in the industry. We have good guests in our podcast, but the final guest is artificial intelligence interviewing artificial intelligence. So we have the 10 most relevant topics of smart glasses in the podcast by ChatGPT. What are the 10 most relevant questions? And they are answering, the AI is answering those questions as well. On top of those 10 questions, I also asked about the Apple headset. So, and I got an answer. So that's quite an interesting answer. You really need to listen to that. It's episode 6. And remember, Spatial News Pod. Listen to that. All right. Now, I'm maybe a bit scared to go to the colors, but nevertheless, that's the point in time that we're going to do it now. So it will be the colors. First, I think it's just color. So let's see. Lead trigger. What is that? Let's see. Color will tell.
Yes, hello, it is me, Kalle. Hello, everybody. I am here. I am in the real world. You are in the metaverse. I will not let you out. But this, yes, this leap triggered. Triggering leap. No, it is Japanese AR, come. Yes, they play in AR. Interesting game. You shoot with your phone. Yes, with your phone. You shoot. Bang, bang. Yes. Not very virtual. I give this 6 out of 10. But I think the video is very good. I give it 7 out of 10. Thank you. This was Kalle. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Kalle, for that review. So you are reviewing these now. Okay, let's maybe call them later as Kalle reviews. Okay. Next up is Octonic VR. I hope you enjoy working out, Kalle. So within this we are, well, let's leave it as a surprise when you can see the video. So go ahead, Kalle. Let's see how you do on a treadmill.
Yes, hello. This is what you say. Run? No. Kalle, no run. Yes, what is this? Octonic. Switch. Hand controller. What is this? Oh, this very good. This combine virtual and physical. Interesting combination. You run at metaverse. Yes, you run metaverse. Yes. Nice. I give this 9 out of 10. Very good. I will try this. Yes. Also, please follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Kalle Official. Official, yes. It is Kalle Official. You can find me. Yes, thank you. Bye.
All right, thank you, Kalle. Let's get you on that treadmill as soon as possible. Now, the couple of last news here. One of which is interesting new platform that was announced on January 10th by Scared Ghost or Anthony Vitello, as we know him. They have launched a new platform called Rune, which they have developed for over 3 years, and created like virtual versions of Venice Film Festival or a couple of VR concerts with Jean-Michel Jarre that already won some awards. So an interesting new platform that they have pivoted towards using it for events and live shows. So an interesting new platform to try out. They are in alpha stage, so try it out, give them feedback, and they can develop it further together with the community. So definitely something worth trying out. Then final news is something we've been waiting for news for, let's say, for a couple of years. If you remember, US military buying HoloLenses, 120,000 of them over 10 years period. Now this year, in the news is that they are planning on releasing them for the first set of 5,000 soldiers. So it's called Microsoft Integrated Visual Augmentation System. And it's designed to give the soldiers visual enhancements such as positioning and friendlies and enemies, 3D maps, night vision, and even biometric tracking. So let's hope at least that it does well on detecting friends from enemies. So let's see how that goes, or hopefully you don't have to reboot the device. Anyway, that's all for the news. Thank you. Even though I'm as an avatar here, I'm going to try to see if I can find my original form. So thank you all for listening, and have a good old night, or just a night if you are not watching the all night live. Thank you. Bye. I cannot wave, my hands are not moving. But anyway, I'm waving.
Thank you for staying for that. Always, special news is always special. Can you hear me anyway? Yeah, okay, we got it. So next up, we have a showcase of the Digi and Game Center presented by Tuomas Roininen. Sir.
Awesome. Thank you. Great. Okay, so hello, I'm Tuomas Roinen. I'm the vice chairman of Peliuskunta Expo, which is Expo Game Business Cooperative. We are the operator of Digi and Game Center. The whole slide set combines game industry and everything else. It's giving a more like a wider glance what we're doing, and I wish that we have more actually AR and VR games in the city. That would be something that I would like to see some kind of project, hopefully in some point with you guys or anyone else. You can see from the downstairs like community research and having the basically industry, product, service, design. This is all based on Digi and Game Center. And the main thing is that we have basically different kind of companies and schools in the set. Why I'm caring about like the game industry perspective is that because Expo is something that tries to push it on. We are also like an official IGDA Finland hub. There's about 14 different hubs around Finland, which are also kind of active. And Jyväskylä is one of the oldest hubs actually in Finland. And one thing is that we actually stream stuff. So this is actually very important. Also, I'm not that quite sure how was it in XR space in games, but especially otherwise, it was the only industry almost that actually grew during the pandemic. We still are in the pandemic phase that we don't even wear the mask anymore, but it was. And still, games are one of the most exported cultural industries in Finland. It's combined movies and music all together. It's the same much as games. So I would like to see more that space on XR and VR games. I think there's more indie games on that side that we have, like a bigger companies, but I would like to see more. How the community is done is being open and driven. And this is how the way, especially game industry works in Finland, but that's way Digi and Game Center works also here. So having these kind of events, having you guys here visiting, bringing people here, doing P2P business and face-to-face business, having more like a grassroots self thing. So basically, Digi and Game Center is like a business platform ecosystem that you can tell about. You can have different kind of projects in it. And as we know, digital is something that works in any industries. So we want to be the one place that works almost like an English pub in a way that it's a second home, that you stay there and come ask, be open what you need, and also in how the special aid is doing actually the XR side. So we are having these like value chains and ecosystems inside them together, and that's why it works. It needs to be driven by the community and the companies and the people in it. Otherwise, this isn't community. It needs to come from the people. So Digi and Game Center was established 2020. So we already are 3 years old. There's 1,000 square meters out here, and XPA itself had a 10 years birthday also actually last year. So that's how it goes. That's about bit about XPA, how to handle it. I'm the vice chairman. Valtteri Lahti is the current chairman. We have 2 years board, and the main thing is that helping to get people to get into industry, get a job, get internships, do business also abroad and some domestic. Considering on game industry perspective, there's no domestic market, so always do the business on outside. Find the partners there. And we are very tight on Digi and Game Center is combined with the schools and the universities and applied science universities that we have here, and then also the XPAND event. So what is Digi and Game Center? It's community fellows, it's bringing people together, it's a space, but it's also like a brand in central Finland that we can promote elsewhere. Of course, there's a different kind of co-working spaces around Finland, our world, but I think that our best analysis is that, and combine it, is that we are very tight on with the universities in the city and also partnering with the city itself. So we are not owned by city or the schools, and that's usually the difference, that you have different co-working spaces. They usually are owned by something there. We are actually private and open in that sense, and works kind of almost voluntary work. There's a bit of pictures some of you people have going around, and hope some people are here can come. And if you are online and not here, you can actually go digiandgamecenter.org website, and there's a premises and there's 360 actually done that you can go through the whole Digi and Game Center, and you can also go to sauna. So it's pretty cold sauna with that, but you can think about it. Don't throw the water on the computer, but otherwise nice. So ecosystem, global business. That picture tells about it, that we don't have actually accelerator program, or we don't have even incubator program, but we work in that way because we have cheaper rent here, and we try to get people and companies some connections in their ecosystems and find new partners and find new business. Being open in it. So this is the way. We have only one coffee machine place here in the 1,000 square meters. People needs to meet. Either they are students, entrepreneurs, researchers, or just clients, or people just come around here. So that's one econ point. And through the networks, you can get funding and other things. So University of Jyväskylä is doing a lot of these things with us. So there's game educations, technical educations, also XR and VR projects there. Hopefully could get more there. And also JAMK University has their own, JAMK University of Applied Sciences have their own game degree program, but also this kind of different kind of projects like XPAND has it. And the esports space, which is getting heavily. I would like to see actually more on XR in esports space, especially on the fun side, how we could like promote and get the teams up and running because we use and watch Switch or we in space. So I would like to see more like how do we build on that fun space. Of course, the cybersecurity is the one thing that we need to take in consideration in that, especially when we build up applications to clients or even people, to anyone to use education. I think because Jyväskylä is known, especially from cybersecurity and also of the military side, but also the otherwise, I think we should put that on also more into apps and games and apps and products and softwares that are coming to the mass market and the mass people use. So cybersecurity is that we can actually keen more on. Then we have special ecosystem, like I said a bit, having these kind of events like this one with the XPAND and finding the partners. So I think it's already kind of nice that we are already here, so it's easy to connect. So if you have any kind of business that or ideas that you would like to do with these guys, and then please open to contact. You know the names anyways. And now you can contact here. City of Jyväskylä is one of the main partners in this. We try to help them also find in different places and also give them ideas if they're building hippos or whatever. We are easy to contact because we're already in a partner with them. So like I said, like an English pub in a way, a second home, you can come and ask. If you don't know, you're going to always ask. So being open. Sharing is caring, and that comes especially in Finnish game industry. That's we hope to bring also in the Digi and game space, like being open, but also sharing, but also being open in that way that if there's a problem that or something is not actually working in a way, you would tell it, and that's very important to having like a reasonable community that you tell the problems so you can solve them. This is like an aim and hope and wishes that we want to do. So I would like to see more on XR and AR space on games here. So hopefully we can get more people excited also in schools that when they start to do projects on their studies, especially the game degree program, we could have some of the game things there also. And we already know, and we are doing actually at the moment, we are giving this a report for city that how the gaming industry actually is doing in Jyväskylä, central Finland, especially after the COVID, what has happened, how the team companies are going. And we of course want to combine it with other things. Especially this will be doing annually. So if the next time we have more knowledge about XR space or VR space or whatever it comes in related also in game space, we want to implement them also in the report. So this was like the first time we actually gathered for the city this kind of knowledge that comes from the directly from the companies, and that is used also for the city marketing purposes. So that's one of the reasons why this is done with Business Jyväskylä slides, but the actual report actually will have its own publishing date, and hopefully we can publish it already in next month, and that's the aim for it. There's a bit of context that you can connect freely. You can connect me directly if there's something related on space. We still have a couple of rooms if you're in space to rent it. We have hot desks, fixed desks. So basic overall idea is that everything is rentable. We have sauna to rent, game sports space, studios to rent. And we want to do business with you guys and projects. So if you have any these kind of ideas, please send email or connect. And of course, you can connect directly to any of these embassies, but I would say the main point is that we are definitely the one that can give the key options and ways to do. So if you connect Digi and Game Center, we basically all have these people in the network. So if you tell what you're looking for, we can always give you a guide where to go for. So I think that's the main key point why Digi and Game Center has ever been done is that we want to emphasize this kind of course, startup ecosystem entrepreneurship, but of course we want to have actually like a foothold. Like I said in the beginning that XPA is 10 years old, so we used almost 7 years to have this kind of premises that we are having now. So this is already huge step that we can push forward, and we are already combining these helps with different cities like with Tampere things, Turku, Helsinki, Arcade 5. So it's not just this place, but we already doing that community with different cities. So we are not locked as because we have to do it in central Finland, we can do it wherever. And we are already discussing with productions and combining with different things in different countries. So it doesn't matter where it is. And even that I'm using English now, so we easily change here language from Finnish to English because there's already foreign companies here, foreign entrepreneurs, but also international students. So I think it's very natural is to use your English. So don't worry, you can come here to speak Finnish or English or whatever, and we try to help you. And that's the key point. Thank you. I don't know, do you have any questions? Feel free if you want, but and of course you can contact me later if you have something in your mind, anything recorded on this this slides or Digi and Game Center itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Tuomas. Excellent. Okay, and we've been here for. Oops, that was good. Okay, and we've been here for 2 years. Very happy. So, 3. Well, time. Since the beginning. We're 3 years old? Oh my goodness. Okay. And next we have an overview of the XR scene here in central Finland. And I would like to welcome Timo Puukko from Jämk. Okay. And he's on his way.
Super, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Good evening, everybody. So I'm the boring project guy, telling you the secrets of the local XR scene. Nothing globally, no funny jokes. Sorry. After Teemu, I don't want to even give it a try. So what about me? I'm, like I said, I was introduced. I'm Timo Puukko. I'm a project manager in a project called XPAND, developing extended reality competence. I will explain you after a while what it's all about. And my personal background, I'm a film director and a professional educator, and now I'm project manager on this XR. So I have a little bit background before I started this project managing on this XR scene. But I will first tell you a little bit about the project. So it looks very funny again. Very entertaining, but I have promised to explain you this. So in our case, our project, it's more, I would say it's educational focused. So our first objective is to develop the competence in extended reality in the educational field, but also to develop the competence for the local companies, especially on the technical, in the technology business. And also to create a network. So those are the 3 objectives, and we have got the funding from the European Social Fund. And this project started in 2021, and it will now end on 23. So anyway, what I want to tell you about today is a very brief summary what we have found out in our project about how the XR is used in the educational institutes and also in the local companies. I'm talking more about the Jyväskylä area, for example. Okay, oh sorry, it's not my laptop. This is my laptop today. So, I don't need to explain you these terms, but let's go to first to see how the VR has been used in locally. So I'm showing you some examples. Everybody knows this. This is AltSpace, for example. This is one of the softwares that is the most used in the local educational institutes. I'm sure that every educational institute here use it in somehow. I don't know what's the reason. Maybe because it's free to use, and pedagogical point of view, it's quite reasonable because you can get your students in one place and you could have your lessons there. So this is actually me talking like I'm talking now. I'm talking here in one event. You can look. I look pretty much the same as my avatar as I'm looking here. Yeah. And so that's one example of this kind of VR, what we are using here locally in the educational institutes, not really in the companies. They are not really using alt space, but what companies are using here, there's like this is like they have been using this kind of virtual elements on designing some areas here. This is the new, I think it is the newest area. It's called Southport in Jyväskylä. It's the most, I think that the plan is to have the most digital, this kind of technological industrial area in our city, and they have been using this kind of virtual tools in designing these spaces, for example. Then, of course, if we go from the alt space, this kind of free softwares, we can go to digital twins. Like here, this is the Valmet case that they have been. This is the line digital twin that has been produced by the local company as well. So the range is going from the €0 to the hundreds of thousands euros. I will get to the point in the end that how many companies are actually using this. These are just examples. It doesn't mean that each company is using XR in our city, but this is the range of the virtual reality solutions. What we have found out. Then we have an example. Our example. This is one of our laboratories here in the University of Applied Sciences, where I'm working as well. So we have made our own digital twin of this. This is the photo of the place, and this is a good example of how XR has made some impact here locally. It's the virtual tours. I don't know, is it I think that virtual tours, is it the virtual reality, or is it augmented reality, is it mixed, whatever, it's anyway made from the 360 photos, but I call it virtual reality. So we have created this kind of our laboratories, which hasn't been so much in use because of the COVID in last years. So we had to make like our digital twin. I call it digital twin because we have pretty much the same functionalities, I would say, or not the functionalities, but same kind of information included in this our version of the laboratory, as well like in the real place. But of course we didn't have the money and time as an educational institute to pay like hundreds of thousands to build from like similar digital twins like the big companies here. So we had to find the cheaper and faster versions. So I think that that's the one thing, if you have to think about educational field, that most of the things, they should be very fast and simple to use, and all the students and all the staff, they should be able to reach these solutions very easy and with all the devices. So that's the little bit difference between the educational field and this kind of like a big money industrial field. So then of course AR apps, which are usually much cheaper to produce. We have been using, of course, these are just the examples, photos that we can show these things that we can't see with our eyes, but with AR apps we can see it into the what's happening inside some things and elements. So we have created this kind of apps for the students, for example, that they can go in our laboratories. They can use our AR systems to learn there. They can do research while checking out our this kind of different machineries and so on, and use these AR elements for their studies. Here you can see one of our teachers as some sort of fake hologram here, telling the secrets of I think it's steam power production. I think that's the translation of this the laboratory that this AR app is produced. Then there is actually this, what I have found, that one of the newest solution is from the vocational college here, that they're using their, I think that this is for AR apps that they're using for the teaching. I think that this is electric installations in their premises. So this educational institutes, they have found use for this kind of tools as well. And if we think about like how the MR technologies are used, this is a good example of how my colleague actually is doing repairing my precious guitar amp using HoloLens. And we are using in our university, especially, we are using this kind of remote assist and dynamics guide softwares for the educational purposes, depending on the courses and so on. So we are, I would say that I haven't seen lots of local companies that they are using all of these technologies. All of these educational institutes, they are using more or less AR, MR, VR. I can tell that there is, I would say that we have lots of companies, basically they have, they could have hardware, for example, to use these technologies, and maybe they have also the skills to produce some content, but in local, our biggest problem is that we don't have really a software or application providers in here in Jyväskylä. For example, if you want to get some applications, for example, either you have to buy it from the Helsinki or other city areas. And I would say that also in the educational point of view, there could be much more XR related studies in our schools if we want to produce. I will use now the produce students with the knowledge of how to produce the XR content. So I think that those are the things that we are lacking a little bit in this area. So the main areas in Finland, of course, if we go to Helsinki area, we could find lots of companies there and blah blah, and they have educational institutes that they have more XR studies in their they have courses for the students. But yeah, yesterday I had one workshop, and I had the local companies visiting me. We had the team was AR solutions for the companies, local companies, not the educational institutes this time. And we had the interesting discussion that one local entrepreneur told me that basically he has money and interest, certain amount of money and interest, more interest than money on XR technologies. And he was asking, like, we had a long discussion about this, that he would love to spend money, he would love to buy hardware, he would love to hire maybe even staff for the XR solutions in their company, but he needs somebody to convince him to do this first, the big move, to make the investment. And we had a long discussion about this, that he asked how he could get this kind of application or service based on the XR technology, how much it would cost it. And I had to say that I didn't know the answer. And we finished the discussion on this, that we have a little bit feeling here that everybody has this hype thing, that everybody has the hype, but everybody is a little bit also waiting for something big happening, I think that everybody here and maybe online there is people that they know that there's going to happen something big in XR and everybody is going to use it, all the companies will use it and all the educational institutes will use it. But what is it? I don't know, but as a project manager, I have to say that my biggest task has been this to convince people that these XR technologies are really worth the money and the effort. That's the biggest issue still on this technology. That's my opinion in short about the team, and I think that that's pretty much the closure, and we can continue from this to this the panel discussion, which will start 7 o'clock local time, so in about 15 minutes. So, and the team was XR technologies, are they just hype, or is there really some profit or something like this, if I remember correctly? Yes? Ah, yeah, that was the slide about this team. It means pluses, minuses, dollars and euros. Is it really the truth? So we will be wiser after 20 minutes or so, 15 minutes. Okay, thank you. If you want to know more about project point of view of these XR technologies, you can contact me anytime and send me email or catch me with the phone or whatever. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, well, I mean, it's quite obvious that XR in Finland is quite vibrant, not just in Helsinki, but all over Finland, actually. And I think it's about time that we get to know more about what happens in the other cities as well. So I'm really happy to be here. Okay, thank you, Timo, for that. And now we will have our short break while we prepare for the panel discussion. Stay tuned. And continue to join us.
can say a few words. Tom, can you say just a few words?
Hello.
Yes, excellent. Thank you. It works. Let's start in a bit. I will talk. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue this show. Next up in the OV live is panel discussion. May we have the panelists join the stream? They are just chatting away there, so maybe Tuomas, please come and sit, and also, yes, the big boys are coming here. All right, excellent. Today's, yes? Not funny guys was the message. Not so funny, all right. Well, let's see who's the funny guy this time. So we have the panel discussion regarding actual business benefits of XR. Are there any, or is it all a hype? And in our panel today is Mr. Tuomas Roininen that you heard today earlier, and also Mr. Timo Puukko that you heard earlier today. But then there's new people who you haven't heard before is Mr. Tom Fisk. He's coming to you on the big screen behind us. Let's hope we can have him part of our excellent panel discussion. And then on top of these three gentlemen, we have also artificial intelligence answering the same questions. So it's a bit of a challenge for you guys to answer smartly, because he might knock you off your chairs with his answers. So let's see how it goes. But it's an interesting topic. Is it actual business, or is it just all a hype? But let's kick off with the question that do you guys see that what industries have seen the most tangible benefits from implementing XR technologies? On your view, how have you seen, what industries have seen the most tangible benefits from XR? And let's start with Timo, because you already talked about this, so you have the latest and brightest ideas, I think.
I would say that they are the big and the rich industries. Is it a clear enough answer in this case? I mean that you mean that they have best benefit on this. Tangible. What it means tangible actually? Concrete. Yeah, that's why I mentioned these big players like that, which has these digital twins, because they have been really using these. They have had some vision that they have want to be created by using the XR technology, and I'm quite sure that they have found some actual use for this. Of course, I have been trying to dig out some real actual data about this thing, how much I would say profitable benefit they have got from these digital twins investments, but I haven't got any answer on these questions. But I would say that they are the concrete, tangible industries in this case. And Tuomas, sorry, too long answer, by the way.
It's a good answer. I try to cover it more. I'm in the same level of that. I would say it's especially the traditional industry that are taking the tangible power of it. And I think it's mainly in the maintenance side, actually, because how do you, if you handle like a ship or a car or any kind of product like Porsche tractors or Valtra tractors, how do you educate people to use them? I think that's the most used cases. As you said, maybe the richer one, they have more, maybe they had already vision that they wanted to pull off and they have some funds to do it. They have convincing the future of it, and I think it comes because they will reduce the money that goes on rehearsing the people in the wrong way, or how do they can cut travel expenses if they want to educate people in Japan and they don't want to put people in Japan. I think also actually game industry is also gaining power. We don't have that much in Finland yet, but there's already a lot of these let's say IB-based Hollywood arcades coming on VR side, where you don't actually have wires on anything and you play as a group, and they're already making okay money, I would say. But I think the tangible thing is that if you already had a resources and you had a wisdom to do it, and you wanted to reduce cost when building something or want to educate people, that was the point on this. Especially metal or wood, I would say.
Thank you, sirs. I think that those were good answers both, but maybe let's hear it from Tom. What is your point of view? Please also introduce yourself a bit so we can all get a grip on who's our expert panelist today.
Thank you. So my name is Tom Fisk. I am the editor of The Immersive Wire, which is a kind of a newsletter that specializes in analyzing the space. And I've got a real lean towards immersive technologies. It's great to be everyone here. It's great to be a little screen behind everyone too. So it's good to see everyone. In terms of my perspectives when it comes to that business side, blockchain technologies are very safe bets at the moment, where it is quite stable and very useful when it comes to transparency. And I have a suspicion that companies that double down more on Web XR will see greater benefits business-wise this year, purely because it's greater access, more frictionless, and goes from there. Now, I say that, I have noticed that a few WebXR-based apps can be slow to load and can be not as frictionless as it could be, but I still have a soft suspicion that we'll see some innovations this year, which will make it a little more seamless over time. I can go into further details, but that's the point of the panel, and I'm looking forward to conversing about it with everyone today.
Yeah, I totally agree, and let's see how we can have the most definite answer. Well, from the AI, can we have Mr. William tell us?
As an expert in the field of XR, I have seen a variety of industries begin to see tangible benefits from implementing these technologies. Some of the industries that have seen the most significant benefits include manufacturing, retail, and healthcare. In manufacturing, XR technologies such as virtual and augmented reality are being used to train employees, visualize and design products, and even remotely control and monitor industrial equipment. In retail, XR is being used to enhance the customer experience by allowing them to virtually try on clothes and see how furniture would look in their homes. Healthcare is another industry where XR is seeing significant benefits, with the technology being used for surgical training, patient rehabilitation, and even telemedicine. Overall, XR is proving to be a valuable tool for a wide range of industries, providing benefits such as increased efficiency, cost savings, and enhanced customer experiences. While it is true that there is still a lot of hype around XR, the technology is rapidly advancing, and we are beginning to see real-world applications that are delivering tangible benefits to businesses. As the technology continues to evolve, we can expect to see even more industries begin to adopt XR and see the benefits for themselves.
Wow, what's even the point of our jobs anymore, right? Great answer.
Yeah. Yes, that it was before, so. No, and it mentioned even the healthcare, so you missed that point totally, so you know. Yeah, but it was a good answer. From all of you, I think the AI's answer was the best. So sorry guys. Let's go to the next question. Let's see how you do on this one. How have XR technologies been used to improve productivity, efficiency, and cost effectiveness in business? So I think we'll start with Tuomas this time. Hence, you are the first in the role.
Yeah, sure. So when it comes to productivity in XR, there's been many, many years showing that using virtual reality is good for memory retention, as well as augmented reality as well. If you do systems in which you use those immersive technologies, it is empirically proven that you will retain the information for longer, and it means you don't need to be trained as often. Both of them key KPIs for bigger businesses to ensure that they don't invest as much and it runs quite smoothly too. So it is good from a productivity standpoint. There are also hardware that's coming out which improves that work aspect and designed around working your desk with VR too. The MetaQuest Pro, for example, has a charging dock which can work next computer. Why? Because you could be on a computer, then you can pick up a VR headset to do something else, put it down after the half-hour meeting, and then continue your work. And that kind of design process is interesting and useful when it comes to continued innovations we're seeing in the VR space. And that's not to say that HTC XR Elite is also really cool too. And I know it's more consumer device, but it's got that enterprise potential too, alongside Lenovo's line. The caveat I'll say to that, and I would say areas of potential growth is, I would like to see more and more software kind of embraces that office aspect. I know Microsoft has a partnership with Meta to deliver some of its productivity apps towards these XR spaces, alongside generative AI, ChatGPT within Office, which should be interesting too. But I'd say we should be seeing more innovation across our software side this year, which I look forward to.
Yeah, I agree. I look forward to those as well, and I'm looking forward to Mr. Roininen's answer as well.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, the cost-effective and the creativity, I would say, especially on design side, when you're using AR glasses or VR glasses, you're getting in the more space. So we start to educate all the design people to how to maintain, and even architectures, how they see in the space, how to can educate themselves in using. I would also say that AI actually coming that hand very more and more. We already see it in movies business and game business that we will basically lose jobs because the graphic designers won't design everything, but they will be only handling these things. So we already also in our company in Boston OneBus, we have tested that we can do with the AI, we can do concept things, but we cannot just not teach enough yet them to make it directly as the artists would do. So that would be one cost-effective thing to maintain and try new ideas. On design perspective, I would say also manufacturing different vehicles, engines, whatever, or even that in the healthcare space, I would say it's cost-effective, and also because the way the model how let's say doctors are taught in a way that you have a teacher doctor and you have a student doctor and then you have a patient. So it's the patient is the new training case. So how it would actually have that the same person would have like 40 times tested in VR and then having the actual consider. So having these kind of different forms of modeling that, but I would say also especially human research and also recruitment is one evident thing considering on AR and VR base that we can actually cost reducing easily if we can test the people how they react, how they do, and then giving that like creative freedom with these new technologies that we hope to get.
What was the question? Cost effective.
How have XR technologies been used to improve productivity, efficiency, and cost effectiveness in business?
I would like to use an example. I was once contacted by a fire department that they were taking care of the training of people in companies. Even they were doing some education training in the schools and so on. This person who was taking care, he was taking care of this, like organizing these training sessions, and he asked me that would there be some possibility to use XR technologies to organize much more of these trainings, because they were all very expensive, and he asked that could there be different kind of virtual sets that they could have a big fire, small fire, and could these solutions make these trainings also safe for everybody? So we found a solution in this case. There was a VR virtual reality based solution that he got all the answers in this case, and he said instantly to me that he wants to buy 25 sets of actually there was some company that they were selling these virtual sets with these fire extinguishers, these systems. Yeah, sorry. And so I just want to show that there was this thing that you put down the fire. So they had some hardware based on the virtual sets, and you were able to really have some sort of real feeling about how to take care of this situation and to have this kind of different settings. And this person was a good example of this, that how XR technologies could be used in the cost-effective phase. And I didn't want to go in this kind of big global movements. I wanted to just show the one example.
And you are banned from the next question.
Because
Because the next question is about examples. So no worries. Yeah. No. Yes. No worries. Question 2. Can we have the right answer from the AI now?
XR technologies have been used to improve productivity, efficiency, and cost effectiveness in businesses in a number of ways. One of the primary ways that XR is being used to improve productivity is through employee training. For example, in manufacturing, employees can use virtual reality to practice tasks and procedures in a safe, controlled environment before performing them in the real world. This can lead to a reduction in errors and increased productivity. Another way that XR is being used to improve efficiency is through the visualization of data and information. For example, in the construction industry, architects and engineers can use virtual reality to visualize and design buildings, which can lead to fewer errors and a more efficient design process. XR is also being used to improve cost effectiveness in businesses in a number of ways. For example, in retail, XR is being used to create virtual showrooms, which can save costs associated with physical showrooms. Additionally, in healthcare, XR is being used to remotely monitor patients, which can reduce costs associated with in-person visits. Overall, XR technologies are being used to improve productivity, efficiency, and cost-effectiveness in businesses by providing new ways to train employees, visualize data and information, and remotely monitor and control equipment. As the technology continues to evolve, we can expect to see even more ways that XR can help businesses improve their bottom line.
How do you see what was the best answer? I think the AI hit it in the head again. Yeah, maybe Timo's example. Yeah, that might be. All right, next question is that can you give some examples of successful XR implementations in real-world business scenarios? So, Mr. Roininen will start this time. No, he didn't start. Tom was last time.
Thank you. For example, I would say, I think there's a couple of ways. I think Valtra is using these kind of educations for mechanics and people to, especially during the pandemic time, they wasn't able to travel these different places. Also, it's much more expensive to send equipments. So mechanics and people and engineers are testing different devices, how they manage how to basically explode the images and put it back, how to maintain the motors and everything. So it gives them like a new way to like mass adapt education for the users. And I think this is good way also training for new people in the company in their cases. So even that you haven't never seen the actual device or motor or any kind of engine in the bar, you can basically have that learnings before. And then when you go into, or especially if you're using an AR system in the same system, when you go in that sense as an engineer or mechanic, you get more data when you see the part like desk or motor or anything. And this is the one that's very keen on example, because in the same time when the mechanic is doing something or training something, the recruitment people, HR people, or even the data management people can see what has been done, how much time is used. So this makes it the cost-effective model of the example. And I think this actually having this kind of like test user cases, it's like a monetization model also actually in games. So basically you test the product with the users and then you modify, and you make it better version of it, or reduce cost, or even sell it better. So this model is coming now through this technology, also in the traditional industry, but it has been already in games before. That basically, if we see NV software, this how we develop software, we will basically put it out there because no one can test as a mass testing for software unless it's under actually clients' use, and clients will break it in good and bad, so we can test it, and this happens also in there.
He's banned. So Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, so I change my answer every single time I do this. So I think for this time, my favorite XR case will be Simulacra. Simulacra is a virtual platform where people can adopt an avatar and socialize. There's like many others out there, but the reason why I want to call them out right now is they are one of the first metaverse platforms to be using generative AI. What they're doing is you can generate images within the platform, which you can then put in the virtual world. So think of it as just searching, you want a certain type of image, it then generates it and then it puts it into that virtual space. I see as a precursor to the generation of not just virtual worlds, but also textures and assets, which can build into it too. They're not the only company. NVIDIA and the Omniverse platform is integrating other companies to do something very similar within their own platform. I believe one company called Luminetric is one example, we focus more on face. And I think that's just more exciting areas we'll see more throughout this year as we develop and grow. So watch that space.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Have to try that out. I have one example actually myself, which is a real world example. It was a day at the fire station, the Finnish Fire Association, what is that, like Pelastusalojen Keskusliitto, whatever. They had a problem during the pandemic when they had the day at the fire station, where fire awareness day, that's the correct word maybe in English. People couldn't come because of the COVID, so they created a virtual fire station. And it was basic 360 photos, 360 videos, merged with some 3D content, what have you, but it was very successful. It was over 100,000 people visited the virtual fire station, and it was kind of a savior for them that they could kind of complete their mission of fire awareness. But that was sort of a different example. So maybe question 3 from our AI. Could we have the answer?
Sure, there are many examples of successful XR implementation in real-world business scenarios. One example is Walmart. They have implemented XR technology in a training program for new employees. By using virtual reality, new employees can practice tasks such as handling hazardous materials, stocking shelves, and dealing with customer complaints in a safe, controlled environment before they perform them on the job. This has resulted in increased efficiency and lower training costs for the company. Another example is Lowe's, a home improvement retail company. They have implemented XR technology in their stores, allowing customers to use a virtual reality app to visualize how different furniture and home decor items would look in their homes before making a purchase. This has led to increased customer satisfaction and sales. In healthcare, one example is that of a hospital in Ohio. They have implemented XR technology to provide patients with physical rehabilitation services. Patients use virtual reality to perform physical therapy exercises, which can be more engaging and motivating than traditional physical therapy methods. This has led to faster recovery times and improved patient outcomes. These examples demonstrate that XR technology can provide real business benefits across a wide range of industries, from retail to manufacturing and healthcare. By providing new ways to train employees, visualize data and information, and remotely monitor and control equipment, XR can help businesses improve their bottom line.
This time good answers from everybody. Okay, let's mix the thing a bit. I'll jump one question, so let's see if we all get confused when I'm not going in the order. So now question number 5. What are some of the main challenges that businesses face when implementing XR technologies, and how can they be overcome? Mr. Tom online.
I think it's metrics. Like, I think we've been very poor when it comes to really understanding how to measure success when it comes to XR. Based on studies I've seen, there's a lot of companies who use Google Analytics. Obviously, it depends on types of tools you use, types of analytics you do have, and types of hardware that you're using. But there's still a lot of companies that use Google Analytics based on tracking data, which works fine, but it might not be as grand as people would like. Further, I think when people saw these projects, I've seen so many case studies where these XR companies do some great work, but they never say at the bottom of these case studies if it met the KPIs, what the results were, or what the impact was. It all seemed quite fluffy. There was no hard numbers. There was no hard conclusions to it. And I think that's been missing. And I recommend to XR companies that when they do work on a project, consider all the types of goals you can have. Yes, you can have more soft goals and just whether the client is happy and whether people learn from what you're doing. But see if you're going to get some harder numbers too. The amount of time on average people spend in experience. How long afterwards they remember a training experience afterwards. To what extent they use the skills they learned if that's part of their day-to-day work. I think those are really important to consider as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. People tend to take the technologies in use without any specific metrics, and then they get disappointed because it wasn't as good as they were expecting, and then they kill the project always. So that's the modus operandi. But let's see, from Mr. Timo, you were on the kind of a bench the last time. So let's see, you have been resting there. So what's your take?
Yeah, this might be my last answer today. So I'm banned forever now. You wouldn't be surprised for my answer, but I would say that the problem here locally is that we don't have enough people with skills to produce this XR content in here locally. I'm talking about the central Finland area in this case. It's and of course I'm also representing university in this case, so I know that the solution in this case would be, of course, to educate students about these topics in this case, but for this we need the demand from the companies. There's no point to teach students about XR if nobody is using them here, for example. So it's like a big paradoxical question here, that if the companies will say that, okay, we want 1,000 student persons, they want to hire them, of course our university will think about this, that okay, maybe we should have some new courses on this team, but we haven't heard such a demands not yet. So that's a little bit problem in here, that you know. So my answer is that we need more skillful persons here in our area, but how to get them? They should be educated or brought somewhere abroad or wherever from ever. But I think that that's not going to be the real answer as well. So I didn't give any answer actually. I just raised the questions. You can ask for mine.
Thank you. I tried to cover the answers. Okay, so I think that especially the KPIs for anything, like the need of people, of course, the lack of students or lack of workforce. But I think still it's we still are in the early adopters game in sense of technology, hardware, but also in companies. Also the ones that needs to use it, but also that who needs to sell it. In the business-wise, it's paradox, like you said, but it needs to be looking further. We can see the same function happen, like now everything is in streaming, everything is video. Like we need to go only less than 10 years goes back. We already had students that were doing video things, and then it was considered that no one will use videos anywhere. No one will take pictures. We don't have Instagrams or anything, only 10 years ago. So, of course, we need to educate already people for the future factor, but I would say even so, we need to educate and get more people hands-on in a company perspective that they need to build on already their businesses, that what they want to do in the future. Otherwise, they won't be having enough people there. You can always educate more people. It doesn't matter. But the business needs to be built in a way that they have the vision, what they want to do, and when early adopters are dying and it comes more mass effective, then they will go more like hyper handling also in the business side. So there needs to be vision what wants to be done, so then we can educate people, we can teach people, and also the mass will come also on the business side because the mass is already there, willing to produce and use their money on it. Thank you. Sorry.
It figured that you guys take the educational point of view, but let's say a more our William is actually now a different William, the AI. Let's see if he has a different answer. So let's hear a more.
There are several main challenges that businesses face when implementing XR technologies, including 1. High cost of entry. XR technology can be expensive to implement, especially for small and medium-sized businesses. The cost of hardware, software, and development can be a significant barrier to entry for some companies. 2. Limited skilled workforce. There is a shortage of skilled professionals with experience in developing and implementing XR technology. This can make it difficult for businesses to find the talent they need to effectively implement XR solutions. 3. Limited use cases. While XR technology has the potential to be used in a wide range of industries, many businesses are still trying to identify specific use cases that will provide the greatest benefits. 4. Integration with existing systems. XR technology may require integration with existing systems and processes, which can be challenging and time-consuming. However, these challenges can be overcome by taking the following steps. 1. Starting small. Businesses can start by implementing XR solutions on a small scale, which can help to mitigate the high cost of entry. 2. Upskilling workforce. Companies can invest in training and development programs to help their employees acquire the necessary skills to develop and implement XR solutions. 3. Identifying the right use cases. Businesses can work with XR experts to identify specific use cases that will provide the greatest benefits for their operations. 4. Considering integration. Businesses can work with XR solution providers that have experience in integrating XR solutions with existing systems and processes. Overall, implementing XR technology can be a complex process, but by understanding the challenges and taking the appropriate steps, businesses can overcome them and start to see the benefits of XR technology.
Well, the second William was even better than the first one. He already gave advice how to do it. So, take the advice. One thing that actually we missed in the panel was what he brought up is the integration to the existing ICT environment. That's especially the bigger the company is, the harder that part is. So for startups and whatever, that's semi-easy, but if you're even a tad bigger company, that will become an actual problem. So that's quite relevant problem. Then we go on with the question number 6. How does XR technology impact the customer experience? And how can businesses use XR to improve customer engagement? So how does it impact the customer experience and how it could improve the customer engagement? Let's start with Tuomas, Mr. Roininen.
Okay. I would say the way the clients can enhance their use and produce and buy and use and tell referrals what they've been done. So there's a different examples, of course, but like I would say, even for ladies, cosmetics or how they look, or even men, like how they, especially, I think the one actually very good example is like having this like a mirror edge way that having like NFL games or NHL games, and where the people can actually see how they look in their gears with the fan shirts and caps, and they can have the actual NBA players, NFL players next to it as they see it in the mirror. Or in a way that when they see more concrete how different thing changes, or they can give like actual feedback when they buy something or use something. I think that actually Amazon and eBay could be actually very good in this, and when they get more use hands cases, and then there will be less actually returnals or people asking for money, because most cases if people wants to buy a sofa, they don't know can it actually fit in their rooms. they can actually test it. They can test it different colors. They can see how it fits, and they can teach it. They don't need to do. And I think this the same thing is going with the clothing business now, that ordering is free, but actually returning is expensive also the client. So what kind of shirts you want to buy, and I think this goes also for the influencers, because they get at designer clothes from the stores, but they never actually buy them, just they will return it. So we can reduce that money and ecological footprint if we can actually make them look already using those things as it would be in games or cosplay, so you could have the avatars doing these things. So I don't know, did I answer any of these questions?
Let's go to Tom.
Yeah, to more directly answer the question, I'm frosty in the sense that there's going to be less consumer spending this year. So because of the economic conditions and high interest rates, particularly in my country, the United Kingdom, there's going to be more reluctance for discretionary spending in order to focus on some core aspects of people's lives. That will have a run-on effect when it comes to how people engage with the more consumer side of the metaverse and what kind of experiences they dip into. It also will bleed into kind of more risky investments as well. I know that there's, when it comes to the cryptocurrency side and with those NFT projects, people might be more reluctant to put money into it as well. In my opinion, that's good in the sense that there's a lot of it. The stuff out there is not very good, but regardless, it does mean that a lot of creators aren't going to get as much support. That's not to say that the long-term viability of the consumer metaverse is not there. There's a huge amount of potential, and the fundamentals are still strong. That's why there's an element of VC funding, which will be going into it as well, which will persist throughout this year and into next year as well. My advice when it comes to consumer metaverse is to cautiously watch what spending levels are going to be like, particularly as China opens up again after its COVID wave, and then to make judgment calls from there when it comes to your own business and work.
Thank you, sir. Now, Mr. Bench. Oh, he's done. He doesn't want to answer even. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Let's take William's answer then.
XR technology can have a significant impact on the customer experience by providing new and immersive ways for customers to engage with businesses. In retail, for example, XR technologies such as virtual reality can be used to create virtual showrooms, allowing customers to virtually try on clothes or see how furniture would look in their homes before making a purchase. This can lead to increased customer satisfaction and sales. In tourism and travel, XR technologies can be used to provide virtual tours and simulations of travel destinations, which can help customers make more informed decisions about where to go on vacation. In healthcare, XR technologies can be used to provide remote consultations and telemedicine, which can make healthcare more accessible and convenient for patients. To improve customer engagement, businesses can use XR technology to provide customers with a more personalized and immersive experience. For example, by using XR technology to create virtual reality product demonstrations or virtual reality showrooms, businesses can provide customers with a more engaging and interactive way to learn about products and services. Additionally, by using XR technology to provide virtual tours or simulations, businesses can give customers a more realistic and engaging way to explore products or services. Overall, XR technology can have a significant impact on the customer experience by providing new and immersive ways for customers to engage with businesses. Businesses can use XR technology to improve customer engagement by providing customers with a more personalized, immersive, and interactive experience.
Now Timo has something to say.
Yes, I forgot this because I want to tell again some case actually about the XR. I did live in Lapland for 10 years, and 2 years ago I moved back to my hometown here, Jyväskylä, and that time we were looking apartment for my family, and the problem was this, that it was COVID time and we lived 600 kilometers north, And we always get this that we were looking for apartment and we did call for the companies. They asked, could you come to check the apartment tomorrow because there is lots of people asking about it. And we said, okay, we are living like 600 kilometers away. Is there any other way to see these apartments? And 2 years ago, the best deal I got was this, that some person went there with their WhatsApp video call and was like walking around the apartment shaking hand, and then they asked that, are you gonna get it or not? Do you want to get it or not? And I was like, wow, now I should make the big decision in this case. And when we go now in 2 years later on, I mean, when I said that these virtual tours, for example, they have been in this case, I could say that many companies in here in this area have been interested about these virtual tours. So that was something that I would have been so happy to have 2 years ago, to walk around to see the apartment and I could check it out. Does our furniture in Lapland fit in our potential apartment here? So here I can see lots of this kind of customer impact that came real big through these technologies, and actually they are used in, of course, in all around the world for sure, in this business for the renting and selling houses and whatever. So I just want to say this my personal example. Thank you.
Okay, we'll buy in. That was a good answer. Thank you, Mr. Timo. Then, then one question regarding people have been hyping about 5G for, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years now. Is 5G important in XR, or what's the role of 5G technology in enabling XR in business, and how can it actually improve the user experience? Is there a role for 5G, or can we make do with the current ones, or how do you see kind of a technology perspective for this? Now I will give it to Timo back because you were on a roll.
I have a very short question. So far, I haven't faced any problems. Can't tell. I haven't used really the 5G networks. Most likely, I don't know. Maybe I've been using all the time, but I can't say what's the difference so far. I can answer you after 1 year or 2 years, maybe. Okay, you will ask me then. Thomas knows more about this for sure.
Hopefully. I think 5G, at the moment, there's not that many devices that uses 5G. I would say is more beneficial and useful is actually you have a network that you can use. And actually, if you could also do something locally that you would need that. But I would say 5G would give that option, an opportunity to do things faster in some point of view, and it would connect you with the faster ideas. And I would say that would be the thing, that if you have a mass production like Amazon, then you can have more feedback on there, or you get the data better. So that would be the 5G moment. We are not in that era yet, but we will get there. At the moment, we have to consider that we are living in Finland. We have a high-speed internet everywhere on our mobile phones. It's cost kind of low. We don't need to go that far. It's damn expensive to get any kind of network. And especially in Finland, we are learned that we have PCs, consoles, computers. Everyone has a Wi-Fi. But if you go, let's say, Japan, there's usually people don't have computers. They only have mobile device that has the network in it. Or we need to go a bit further in Africa, you have a database there. So we are already in this cocoon in Finland that we are in high-speed mode anyway, even before the 5G. And that's why you probably don't know that are you using or not, because we are living in cocoon already.
From Cuckoo's Nest to United Kingdom, Mr. Tom.
Yeah, so I'm going to give a more in-depth answer than the previous ones. So at the crux of it, when it comes to business and XR, it is, and with 5G, it is useful because of the lower latency rate. This is not a consumer question when it comes to accessibility with 5G towers or other computers with other answers. This is fundamentally a question of latency and using technology for the benefits of that. To give one example, there was a company called Vini, and what they've done is they managed to work out a way to connect a VR headset via their 5G core, which is then connected towards a camera which they use for the sake of telepresence. So convoluted as hell, but why do they do it? The reason why is that you can, in a VR headset, control what is happening And the response time between that and the device itself is a lot lower than compared to doing it in any other way. And that's quite critical in order to say, if you're remotely controlling a robot on the other side of the world and you want to clean up a line, or in this particular case, to control a camera so you can film certain aspects. I've seen the same technology used so that people can do surgeries. Not super like in-depth surgeries, but enough so that you can use that 5G tech in VR. So you can do relatively precise ones from another part of the world as well. Thus being the expertise of doctors to other countries too. It's a very exciting area which is pioneered by telco companies such as BT and EE, and is an area which I'm looking at closely.
Thank you. I totally agree that 5G is, I agree with both of you. 5G is kind of invisible for the consumer side at the moment, but the problem with that is the use cases are more or less missing. And people are only thinking about it as a high-speed internet, which there's plenty of more like edge computing, which means that you can bring the content closer to the consumers, for example, or you can utilize it in smart vehicles. If you have the content or the kind of a hub for the information closer to the cars, they can communicate instantly with each other, that sort of thing. So 5G is actually very relevant technology if we go with smart glasses, when we go to smart traffic, when we go to all these use cases where latency is relevant, whether it's latency between devices or latency for getting the data or kind of information. But yeah, that's I think very relevant. But let's see if Mr. William has a better answer than the rest of us.
5G technology plays a critical role in enabling XR in business by providing the high-speed, low-latency connectivity required for XR applications. XR technologies such as virtual and augmented reality depend on real-time data transmission, which requires a high-speed and low-latency network. 5G networks can provide the high-speed, low-latency connectivity required for XR, which will allow XR applications to be more responsive and provide a more immersive user experience. 5G technology also enables a higher density of connected devices, which is important for XR applications that involve multiple users or devices. This will enable new use cases for XR in business such as remote collaboration, telepresence, and distributed training. Another benefit of 5G technology is the ability to support edge computing, which can offload the processing power required for XR applications to the edge of the network, closer to the user. This can reduce the latency and improve the responsiveness of XR applications, which will enhance the user experience. Overall, 5G technology will be a key enabler for XR in business by providing the high-speed, low-latency connectivity required for XR applications, supporting a higher density of connected devices, and enabling edge computing. These capabilities of 5G will improve the user experience and enable new use cases for XR in business.
Quite a repetitive answer, and it didn't quite have enough examples, but otherwise, technically, it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I know. He's a smart guy. But anyway, we'll change the William back to the original one for the final two questions. So we'll have the final two questions are that how do you see XR technology evolving in the next 5 years? What impact do you think it will have on business? Let's start with Tom for this.
Do you mind rephrasing the question so I can best answer it?
Sorry, I didn't get what you said. Do you?
Do you mind rephrasing it slightly so I can best answer that, just so I can make sure I can answer correctly?
Rephrase. Oh, well, it was just how do you see XR technology evolving over the next 5 years? And kind of that's one part of the question, and the second part is that what impact do you think that the evolved XR have on businesses?
Yeah, it's such a broad question. That's why.
Yes, I know.
Just focusing on the, I'll focus on the hardware aspect because I think it's really interesting, kind of the innovations we are seeing. And I do think in the next 5 years we're going to see more and more niche headsets. And I don't mean niche as in to say, oh, this one has eye tracking, this one doesn't. This one's hand tracking is better, this one's less so. I mean niche in the sense that I saw a VR headset during CES, we used an e-ink display. So you can wear a little VR thing, flick through Kindle pages while lying down, and it's like a little visor. I think we'll see more innovation like that in the next 5 years for very particular use cases, which I'm quite excited for. I know this is a slightly lazy answer, but we will genuinely see the cost of VR go down as well, because it is quite a price elastic market. And the cheaper the VR headsets would be, then the more accessible it would be for a wider market too. There's plenty of evidence to support that. So innovations when it comes to costs and power will go along the way, but on a personal level, I'm just looking forward to the weird and wonderful as well.
Yeah, it was a good answer, and I agree totally on the kind of costs going down, because if you compare with mobile phones, for example, in 5 years, €500 mobile phone cost €50, so it definitely will go down so much that the kind of there will be so much broader usage. But let's. Sorry, I'm answering on your behalf, Timo.
Can I stand up? What's gonna happen in 3 to 5 years? It's gonna happen this. It's now like this, and 3 to 5 years it's gonna happen like this. I will explain. This is what I use as an example. When I come to work, I bypass lots of these bus stops here, and there's usually in the morning like 10-20 people waiting for the buses, and they look like this because they have these phones, and they have to look down to look at the phones all the time. Of course, you can't live without the phone. So I would say I have this feeling that in 3 to 5 years, when we costs go down of these different kind of VR sets, and they will be integrated to the classes or whatever, you don't need to have any more the big headsets, then we will finally get our heads up, if our neck still works, and we will see all these things in the classes what we are watching in our phones. I think it's called this hyper reality or something like this in the future. But I can imagine that in 5 years it's gonna be like this, that we will be waiting for the bus, seeing the bus is coming, and all the time watching this advertisement and Facebook messages and all the nonsense in like a MR set or something like this. That's my vision.
Thank you. I would say, like we have seen already, TV. So we have flat TVs that got like nothing at the moment because it's a mass production, mass uses. Same thing will happen in XR devices. I think also we will have some kind of, I would say, going the same direction now. There's a lot of manufacturers trying to be the one that everyone wants it, so it will be consolation in that sense. Also, I like the idea that Timo was saying that we will raise our heads, but I think it's already going that way, that we don't actually need that much devices. We already have technology that's building surfaces that you can watch 3D elements in it without having any kind of glasses or anything. Unity is doing that for already 10 years, but haven't expanded anything. I think mass use of game engines is coming also in any kind of productions, movies, industries. So we are living in this area that the cross elements of using technology, different industries are going much closer. And when all these things happening in different industry levels are going down, we will use these, at the moment, if we see VR devices or AR devices, we are like, oh, what's that? That's kind of cool. I've never seen it. I never used it. In that point, no one cares. Everyone has to use it. So in that case, we will have this moment that it will be more on the content side than the hardware side.
Yeah, I totally agree. And my prediction has been for the past 3 years that in 2027, 13th of September, the amount of smart glasses will be more than mobile phones in developed countries. So let's see if your prediction comes true. Yeah, you can put it down. It's a given. I'm from the future. Well, then the last question, which we kind of roll back to the original topic of this whole panel discussion, is that on your point of view, what are some of the best practices for businesses looking to implement XR technologies, and how can they ensure success? So I'm gonna repeat the question. What are... Oh, William, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, I thought I was the truth. I'm sorry, this was my mistake. Let's have William for question number 9.
I see XR technology continuing to evolve rapidly in the next 5 years, becoming more accessible and affordable for businesses of all sizes. The advancements in the fields of hardware and software will continue to decrease the cost of XR devices and increase their capabilities, making them more accessible to a wider range of businesses. I also see XR technology becoming more integrated with other technologies such as 5G, AI, and IoT, which will enable new use cases and applications. For example, the integration of XR with AI will enable more realistic and personalized virtual experiences, and the integration with IoT will enable the use of XR in industrial settings, such as remote monitoring and control of equipment. Additionally, I see XR technology becoming more widely adopted across a variety of industries, from manufacturing and retail to healthcare and education. This will lead to increased productivity, cost savings, and improved customer experiences for businesses. Overall, I think that XR technology will have a significant impact on businesses in the next 5 years, enabling new ways to train employees, visualize data and information, and remotely monitor and control equipment. The advancements in the field of XR will make it more accessible and affordable for businesses of all sizes, and the integration with other technologies will open up new possibilities and use cases.
Yeah, it was okay. He's a bit repeating himself from the previous questions, I think. So that's it. Yeah, we are not. We are better at that. We are not repeating ourselves. I think that's our kind of our strong point. Yeah, yeah. He wasn't yet. He's not going to Skynet in 5 years. So we are happy with that. Okay. Now the final question is that what are some of the best practices for businesses looking to implement XR technologies now, and how can they ensure success while implementing those? Mr. Roininen will start this one.
Implementing success. Yeah, with the success case stories, like we have said before, that we need to educate people, we need to have a business on site, we need to have low cost. I think the success cases comes in that moment when we have mass adoption of things. It needs to be creative ways to use it. There needs to be reason to use it. At the moment, there's more like we use it because it's a hype. We use it because it's just testing something. So when it comes more in the content side, I would say the content is the success. It needs to be reasonable, creative, fun way to use it. I think this is the thing that when actually social media like Facebook or let's say even like Tinder dating was something like at some point online dating was considered as nothing like actual thing. But now it's there. Everyone is doing it in a way that you don't feel ashamed of it. And I think the same thing is with actually XR devices, even with the companies, because people are still a bit hesitating to use them because, yeah, I pray it's not that good. But when it comes in the way that people are getting more in the content side, that they can express themselves, even with the workforce or something, so then we can have the success cases more coming.
Yeah, I think that what I've learned in this during our project is that to make these small steps to give it a try on these XR technologies without the big investments, it's a good start for the companies to like these virtual tours. I'm repeating myself again, but because with those ones you can give it a try for any company or whatever, and maybe find some first step of some sort of success, because you just make a little investment usually on your time, and you could maybe even get some real use to find the real use after this first step for the next tries on the XR technologies. So I think that there is the how to process with this use of XR technologies more here. That's how I have learned in this way. Yeah, actually, yes, like Thomas said, yeah. But yeah, that's my opinion. Small steps, give it a try. Don't spend all your money in the beginning and blah 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 blah.
Give me the mic. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Added to that, Tom's idea of measuring it properly, kind of setting the target, setting the goals, making that kind of from the get-go. But sorry, Tom, maybe I stole your answer, but please go ahead.
You did, but you articulated it super well on my behalf. Because that was going to be what I was going to say. Just make sure you have clear end goals and you're building towards them. Like plans change all the time, but if you just stick to like a good KPI and you could like defend yourself and work towards it as a team.
Yes. Now, the definite answer from William.
For businesses looking to implement XR technologies, it is important to have a clear understanding of the specific use cases and business objectives that they are trying to achieve with XR. This will help to ensure that the right XR solution is chosen for the specific needs of the business. Another best practice for businesses is to start small and scale up as needed. This can help to mitigate the high cost of entry and reduce the risk of failure. It's also important for businesses to have a skilled workforce that can develop and implement XR solutions. Investing in training and development programs to help employees acquire the necessary skills can be very beneficial. Additionally, businesses should consider the integration of XR technology with existing systems and processes. This can be challenging and time-consuming, but working with XR solution providers that have experience in integration can help to ensure success. Finally, businesses should also consider the potential impact of XR technology on privacy and security. This can include ensuring that data is properly secured, that user data is handled appropriately, and that users are aware of the data collection practices. Overall, by understanding the specific use cases and business objectives, starting small, investing in the right workforce, considering integration and focusing on the potential impact on privacy and security, businesses can increase the chances of success when implementing XR technologies. It's also important to keep in mind that the implementation of XR technology is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process, and the businesses should be prepared to adapt and change as the technology and the user's behavior evolve.
I think he summed it up what we talked about. I think it was a summary of our answers, more or less. All right, this concludes our panel discussion. Thank you, Tom, for taking your time. It was excellent to have you. Real joy. Of course, Tuomas, well, you are always here. You know, I don't know if we count you, but and well, Timo as well. Well, I don't know what the added value was from you, but but nevertheless, thank you for the panelists, and having concluded this panel discussion, we also conclude our off night. So thank you everybody live watching us. Maybe there's like 5 people, but still there's more here. The camera doesn't show. There's like at least 20 people here. The camera shows only 2. So, but there are real people here as well. Anyway, thank you for watching the stream. We will see you in the next AWE Northern XR. Thank you. Toodaloo.
Take care, everyone.